Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Thursday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend. Today is July 5th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office is still waiting on results of a federal investigation into an officer-involved shootout in McElmo Canyon in February that left one man dead. But Sheriff Steve Nowlin said he is becoming impatient and plans to conduct his own independent internal affairs investigation to determine if lethal force by Sergeant Ed Oxley was justified even though it happened outside the county. On February 15th, after Oxley pulled over a vehicle on Road G for an alleged traffic violation, Nowlin said, the suspect sped off and an occupant allegedly shot at Oxley as he pursued the car west into Utah just past the Ismay Trading Post. The car had blown a tire and continued driving on one rim until it came to a stop and an occupant exited the vehicle, surrendering with his hands up, according to Nowlin. The car had blown a tire and continued driving on one rim until it came to a stop and an occupant exited the vehicle, surrendering with his hands up, according to Nowlin. The car rolled backward into the ditch and started a brush fire. Upon arrival, Oxley was allegedly fired upon, and he returned fire, killing Fordell Hill, age 27. Two unidentified people who were in the car with Hill were taken into custody by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Their names have not been released. Oxley was not injured, but his patrol car, where he took cover, was shot up, Nowlin said. County Road G was closed overnight while the shooting was investigated. The shootout occurred in a jurisdictional patchwork of Navajo land and San Juan County, Utah land. It was eventually determined the fatal shooting occurred on Navajo Trust land, so the case was turned over to the FBI. Nowlin said he plans to convene a 3 to 5 person review board of civilian and law enforcement experts from outside the area to investigate the officer-involved shooting and make a recommendation on whether it was justified. According to Montezuma County Sheriff's Office policy, Oxley has been on paid administrative leave since the incident.
From the Journal and Durango Herald, continuing updates on the Burro Fire status. Photo credit Emily Rice. Warm, dry weather and low fuel moisture continue to feed the Burro Fire, which has grown 141 acres since Monday. An infrared mapping flight about 8:17 p.m. Tuesday showed the fire was at 4,578 acres. According to the pilot's log, the flight revealed new growth in the northwest, along Bear Creek to the southwest near Burro Mountain and towards Forest Service Road 436. Elsewhere, only isolated heat was detected and cloud cover obscured the southern end of the fire. The fire began June 8th in Bear Creek Canyon near the Gold Run Trail and remains 40% contained. Hand crews continue to reinforce control lines and remove hazardous fuels along the northeastern and southwestern sides and conduct backburns along the bulldozed line on the western side of the fire to stay ahead of the fire. The eastern side of the fire, known as Division R, remained unstaffed. Natural barriers such as high elevation, rock, and aspen separate the Burro Fire from the 416 fire less than 2 miles to the east. A burnout operation over the past few days has allowed 416 fire crews to build a containment line along the southwest perimeter of the fire. Officials say the 53,260-acre fire there is 45% contained. Forecasters predict that a wetting rain will begin Friday, with predictions calling between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch of rain. On Monday, firefighters working near Burro Mountain and Rough Canyon observed increased fire behavior because of shifting winds. Much of the activity occurred in unburned areas inside the perimeter, resulting in minor expansion of the fire's footprint, which grew by 108 acres. This week, 2 firefighting crews arrived to relieve 2 crews that are scheduled to return home when their 14-day assignments end.
According to the Cortez Journal, with a photo courtesy of Lenny Lee, a successful burnout operation over the past few days has allowed firefighters to build a successful containment line along the southwest perimeter of the 416 fire. Officials say the 53,260-acre fire is now 45% contained. There was minimal fire behavior on Tuesday as the fire grew 482 acres, significantly less growth than what was seen the prior 2 days. Officials expected similar fire behavior Wednesday. The decrease in fire activity is because of the moisture that thunderstorms have brought to the area. There is a 10% chance of rain Wednesday, and the probability of moisture will increase throughout the weekend. Forecasters predict that a significant wetting rain will begin Friday, with predictions calling between 0.1 and 0.25 inches of rain. The increasing chance of thunderstorms Wednesday can cause dry lightning and strong erratic winds that can reach 50 miles per hour. However, the gusts are usually brief, and the wind is not expected to radically influence fire behavior as the forest fuels become wet, Vonk said. Crews utilized the lack of fire spread to remove water handling equipment from the south end of the fire, which should be completed today. Crews are also beginning to remove an extensive network of pumps, hoses, and portable water tanks from the protection lines in the north end of the fire around Purgatory Ski Resort. Engine crews are also removing structure protection equipment from the Falls Creek subdivision.
DCTV reports from Dove Creek, photos Kendra Cook. 2018 marks the 63rd annual Pick and Hoe, celebrating the miners and farmers who dominated the Dove Creek area over the past 80-plus years. Though mining has faded in importance, certainly the resource extraction industry remains a big part of Dolores County. And as to farming, Region 9 statistics showed around 38% of the Dolores County economy is based on agriculture. The unique parade started right at 9 a.m. with plenty of fire trucks, floats for groups like the Boy Scouts, those running for office in November, along with some vintage cars and a local race car, horses and carriages, and a stunning display of 3 huge tractors showing signs of American farmer, farmers equal food, and future farmer, to stress the importance of keeping farming alive in the community. The VFW float led the way from the airport to Weber Park, where a brief opening ceremony was held for the Color Guard and to recognize Linda and Doug Funk as the Grand Marshals this year. Katie Gardner with Frosty's Liquor sponsored and coordinated the kids' games held this year on the practice field, as the Weber Little League baseball field is still under renovations and closed this summer. In the afternoon, the scaled-down pig chase ran for the younger ages only. The beer tent, hosted by the Dove Creek Volunteer Fire Department, was the center of attention throughout the day. The band Sit and Shotgun performed on their stage in the practice field ahead of another superb fireworks show, once again put on by the DCV Fire Department, going off without a hitch. Though most residents are back to work today, the fun at the park is set to continue throughout the weekend, with the volleyball happening today, the dance at the basketball courts tonight, then Friday is horseshoes and washers, a favorite in this part of Colorado, followed by the Alec Tabor 5K Color Run and VDJ Plus Ultra playing in the community center sometime after 7 p.m. with a glow stick themed evening. And if you're up to it, there's one more event on Saturday as locals come out to watch or play in a softball tournament, followed by another night of the Dove Creek Chamber sponsored DJ summer dance parties at the community center in Weber Park. More photos and video will be available online at the DCTV Facebook page.
According to the Durango Herald, investigators say bones discovered in an area of Albuquerque where 11 women and an unborn child were found buried nearly a decade ago are human remains. Police say the bones discovered Tuesday by construction workers building a park on the city's West Mesa are being examined by the Office of the Medical Investigator. It's not known whether the remains were those of a woman or man. Investigators will resume the search after workers scan the dirt lot for power lines. The discovery, less than a mile from the mass grave where human remains were unearthed in 2009, has sparked fears that there may have been more victims in an unsolved serial killing. Investigators say nearly all of the dead women disappeared between 2003 and 2005 and had worked as prostitutes. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Taking a look at the national weather map, it's a bit hard to make out the orange line indicating rain and thunderstorms, but it is engulfing most of the central and eastern U.S., with a few areas of exception across the south central states. The rest of the west and northwest into the upper Great Lakes area is dry for the day. Meanwhile, the heat wave abates across the eastern U.S. whilst building in intensity for the western U.S. While there is no direct threat to land, nearby Atlantic waters off the east coast of the United States may give birth to a tropical depression or storm during the 2018 hurricane season over the next few days. In addition to Tropical Depression 2 and a potential depression near Bermuda, disturbances will also continue to push westward from the Atlantic to the northern shore of the Gulf of Mexico. While these features are expected to remain too close to land to develop, they will produce rounds of drenching rain across the deep south into this weekend. The next names on the list of tropical storms for the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season are Beryl and Chris. Regionally, we have a hazardous weather outlook. Showers and thunderstorms will start firing over high terrain of the San Juans and the Central Mountains by early afternoon. Expect some gusty winds from these storms as well as cloud-to-ground strikes. Showers and storms will continue into the weekend, though rainfall amounts and intensity will be on the upswing as moisture continues to stream into the area. There are some concerns for flash flooding over recent burn scars Friday onwards. Most storms will die down shortly after sunset, only to pick up again the next day. And we also have a special weather statement for our area. Moisture will increase from the south today, increasing the chance for afternoon and early evening showers and thunderstorms. Most of the convection will develop over mountainous terrain, mainly south of Interstate 70. San Juans and central Colorado mountains again currently look favored for those showers and storms. The showers and thunderstorms are expected to move slowly once they develop, which will increase the threat of heavy rain. This threat of heavy rain will continue through the weekend, and this would be perhaps identified as the start of the monsoon season that the firefighters have been looking for. But recent burn scars and other susceptible flooding areas are of concern as the threat of heavy rain increases. Stay tuned for any future flash flood watches and warnings that may be issued if confidence increases or the threat becomes imminent. The local 5-day DCTV outlook looks pretty scary there. Today, isolated showers and thunderstorms afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 87. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation is 20%. Tonight, isolated showers and thunderstorms before 10 p.m. Partly cloudy with a low around 58. South-southeast winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, and the chance of precipitation is 20. Friday, again, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms afternoon. Mostly sunny with a high near 87. South-southwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Friday night, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 59. South-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday, again, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorm afternoon. Mostly sunny with a high near 89. South-southeast winds 5 to 10, becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Saturday night, again, it remains at 20% chance for showers and thunderstorms before 3 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 60. And then Sunday, we continue with a 20% chance of showers afternoon, partly sunny with a high near 89. Sunday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly before 9 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 59. And heading into the next work week, Monday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 86. Monday night, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 58. And Tuesday, partly sunny with a high near 85. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 57. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a judge has ordered the release of psychiatric evaluations of James Holmes, the gunman who killed 12 people in a Colorado movie theater in 2012. The Denver Post reported Tuesday the evaluations were released last week at the newspaper's request. The documents cover some of the same ground as testimony by three psychiatrists during Holmes's trial. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to life without parole. The documents include reports by two psychiatrists who examined Holmes after the shootings. Both concluded he was mentally ill at the time of the attack, but didn't meet Colorado's standards for insanity because he knew his actions were wrong. The papers also include notes by a University of Colorado psychiatrist who briefly treated Holmes before the shootings when he was a graduate student at the school.
From the BLM, photo from recreation.gov, a new exhibit opens at Canyons of the Ancients Visitor Center and Museum on July 7th, named From Krakow to Castle Rock. Jagiellonian University's, that's a tough one, archaeological investigations within Canyons of the Ancients National Monument. That opens at Canyons of the Ancients Visitor Center and Museum at 27501 Highway 184 in Dolores. The new exhibit highlights the long legacy of archaeological work within the monument through photographs of Sand Canyon and East Rock Creek as a result of 7 years of research conducted by Dr. Radoslaw Palonka, an archaeology professor at that university in Krakow, Poland. His research within this popular hiking destination showcases detailed images of archaeological sites deep within the monument. These images were closely examined to more clearly understand this site through detailed documentation and archaeological testing. Having a partnership with the Jagiellonian Field School illustrates the importance of this monument's landscape to an international audience interested in America's cultural resources, said Marietta Eaton, Canyons of the Ancients National Monument Manager. The photographs in the exhibit premiered at several European venues before traveling to Canyons of the Ancients Visitor Center and Museum for the U.S. debut. Palonka will kick off the exhibit opening with a lecture at 1 p.m. on July 7th. Admission to the museum for the opening and the lecture are free. To learn more, call the Museum and Visitor Center at 970-882-5600.
According to the Durango Herald, a 39-year-old man who fell 40 feet while climbing in the Waimanuche Wilderness north of Durango on Tuesday has been taken to a hospital in Grand Junction. A search and rescue mission started around 9 a.m. for the injured man who was climbing with friends near Snowden Peak, a 13,077-foot mountain popular with hikers and climbers. The group, who are local residents, were climbing a technical route on the west buttress when the man slipped and fell, said Jim Donovan, director of San Juan County Search and Rescue. 6 search and rescue personnel were flown to the spot of the injury, where they were able to use a rope system to get the man aboard the Flight for Life helicopter. The 6 rescuers then hiked about an hour to the Andrews Lake trailhead. The man, whose identity has not been released, was taken to a Grand Junction hospital with a serious lower back injury. Donovan was hesitant to call the man's condition non-life-threatening because with a back injury, even a small shift could snap his spinal cord. Donovan said the mission ended around 4:30 p.m. and involved about 20 first responders from San Juan County Search and Rescue, San Juan County's Sheriff's Office, La Plata County Sheriff's Office, and La Plata County Search and Rescue. Previous information from the scene mistakenly identified the injured person as female.
From Space.com, Space.com photo credit. Complex organic molecules have been discovered for the first time coming from the depths of Saturn's moon Enceladus, a new study reported. Spacecraft scheduled to launch soon could explore what this new discovery says about the chances of life within icy moons like Enceladus, the study's researchers said. The 6th largest of Saturn's moons, Enceladus is only about 314 miles in diameter. This makes the moon small enough to fit inside the borders of Arizona. In 2005, NASA's Cassini spacecraft detected plumes of water vapor and icy particles erupting from Enceladus, revealing the existence of a giant ocean hidden under the moon's frozen shell. Because there is life virtually everywhere where there's water on Earth, these findings suggested that life might also exist on Enceladus. Previously, scientists had detected only simple organic carbon-based compounds, each less than about 5 carbon atoms in size, in the plumes of Enceladus. Now, researchers have detected complex organic molecules from the moon, including some of at least 15 carbon atoms in size. This is the first ever detection of complex organics coming from an extraterrestrial water world, study lead author Frank Postberg, a planetary scientist at the University of Heidelberg in Germany, told Space.com. The scientists analyzed data that Cassini gathered when it flew within a plume from Enceladus, as well as from when the probe passed through Saturn's E-ring, which is made up of ice grains spewed from Enceladus. The investigators detected ice grains loaded with complex organic material in both the plume and the E-ring. The researchers conjectured that these organic materials were cooked up inside the hot, rocky, and fragmented core of Enceladus, which prior work suggested had water seeping through its pores. Postberg noted that most of the organic loaded ice grains the researchers saw were in Saturn's E-ring. This might suggest that these complex organic molecules were not produced within Enceladus, but instead resulted from sunlight-triggered chemical reactions in space. The researchers cautioned that these new findings are not solid evidence for life, as biological reactions are not the only potential source of complex organic molecules. The next logical step is to go back to Enceladus soon and see if there is extraterrestrial life, Postberg said. Nowhere else can a potentially habitable extraterrestrial ocean habitat be so easily probed by a space mission as in the case of Enceladus. Postberg added that the European Space Agency already has missions, Europa, Clipper, and JUICE, scheduled to launch in 2022 that will visit Europa and Ganymede, the icy moons of Jupiter that have subsurface oceans. These missions will check for habitability on those worlds as well. The scientists detailed their findings online in June 27 in the journal Nature. It's interesting times we live in right now.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, an abandoned boat was found in the middle of the road Saturday night just north of Vallecita Reservoir. The marooned vessel was reported on County Road 501 near the intersection with Mushroom Lane, said Upper Pine River Fire Protection District Chief Bruce Evans. The rest is a bit of a mystery, the fire chief said. It appears the driver was hauling the boat on a trailer when the driver hit a mailbox, knocking the boat off the trailer and spilling its contents onto the road, which included a cooler and some drug paraphernalia. The working theory is that the driver, assessing the situation, thought it better to leave the scene and boat in the road to avoid getting a DUI or worse, Evans said. The kicker is that among the spilled debris was a ticket boaters received to access Vallecito Reservoir, which included the names of the boat's owner, Evans said. The boat was also registered, but it's unclear who was driving at the time. The investigation was handed over to Colorado State Patrol. State Patrol Captain Adrian Driscoll said troopers were investigating the incident Monday afternoon.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings, July 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. Justin Gambino is on tour in Cortez, Colorado at the Cortez City Park. This summer and fall, Justin Gambino will embark on the Journey Within My Soul tour, accompanied by his drummer and/or cellist, as well as an opening act, Whitley Casey, in select cities. Join Justin and his friends for a time of inspirational music and hope. July 7th, the Lindells will be playing from 8 to 11 p.m. at the Dolores River Brewery. They say desert rock that is more like dessert, hot and yummy. Join the Lindells this Saturday night, July 7th, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. And locally again in Dove Creek, the VDJ Plus Ultra will DJ the summer dance parties held at the Weber Park Community Center after 7 p.m. on both Friday, July 6th and Saturday, July 7th. Get your dance on. It's free, sponsored by the Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce. Friday is Glow Stick Night, Saturday an enigmatic algorithm of yes and no. All of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on social media. Our Facebook page is DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.